In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make your very own round-based shooter on Roblox Studio. Believe me, you won't want to miss a thing. So stay tuned to see how we made it. So once we have Roblox Studio loaded up, we need to come along here to the templates tab, to the new, and let's just get the default new base plate, alright? And let's come over here and do create owner as me. I'm just going to make me the owner for this one. And we're going to create new. So once we're in our brand new game, we need to make some maps, we need to get some weapons, we need to make a few folders, a few scripts and things like that. So let's just get started with our basic maps, which we can add more detail to later. So I'm just going to start with creating a map. We'll just call it grass map, alright? So let's do down here in the properties for grass. For our grass map, let's make it 150 by 150. So now the grass map should be pretty much the right size to be a map. See, if I just drag the spawn on here, you can see that this is a decent shooter map. Okay, so let me texture this and colorize it a bit. Let's change its color to that. And obviously you can make your maps any way you want them. This is just an example for the video itself. But yeah, I'm just going to get the grass texture, pour that on there. Beautiful. And we're going to close out of texture, and we're going to change a couple more properties about our grass map here. We need to come along to where it says where it is anchored. You can see right here where it says anchored, make sure that box is checked. And now we need to add a little bit of detail to our map. So let me just create some rocks real quick. Back from that time lapse, and now we need to organize our decorations and our rocks. I'm going to upload these rock pieces to the studio so you guys can take them as free models down in the description. But yeah, so let me take my rocks and we will organize this base plate a bit, this map, the grass map. So let's insert a new model, okay, a new model into the workspace. And let's just rename this model grass map, and let's add in a folder to that. So in this folder we're going to have we're going to call it decorations, and we're going to drag all of our rocks into the decorations tab, and make sure your rocks are anchored. Next we need to add in another folder. Let's call this base part. So this is just going to be the grass. So now if we just add in the grass into the base part, what should happen is if we select the entire model, it will all move. So now we have our map ready to be manipulated via code. So we can spawn it in, give some players random guns, and yeah. The last thing we need to do to our map is to add in some spawn locations. So let me create a little spawn, and let's make a few changes to this part. So first of all, we should probably make him anchored and turn the canker light off. We're also just going to make the size, let's make the size 2, 2, 2. That's a good spawn size, I think. And we're going to make it bright pink just so we can see where they are. I'm also going to turn shadows off because we don't need them on and they cause extra lag. Okay, so all of my spawns are now placed onto the map. I'm going to just rename them to, let's just rename them to spawn, and we're going to create a new folder inside of the grass map. And in this folder, we're going to rename it to spawn locations. This is actually really important that you name it like this, okay? Because later on in our code we need to have the exact names of our folders. So please please create it as I have here, and drag all your spawns into the spawn location. Now quickly, if we make the transparency all the way to 1 so you can't see the spawns. Oh, and I almost forgot, the very last thing we need to do to this map for now is we need to add in some invisible walls so the player doesn't fall off the side. Let me do that real quick. So once you've placed all your invisible walls, let's just change their transparency to 1 so they're invisible. Let's also change their name in the name properties to, let's just make it invis wall. And we're going to drag those invisible walls into our base parts folder. You can see in there with the grass map. So now we have our very first map completely finished and ready to be scripted. Later on, maybe not in this video, but in part 2 we will be adding another map, but for now we're just going to start with the basics of our code, and we're going to see our round system come together. So the next thing we need to do is we need to come over to server storage. Let's create a folder, and let's just call this maps folder. Let's just call this maps folder so we know what it is and where to find it. And we're going to drag all of our maps models, all of our models will be found in the maps folder. See, now once I drag that into there, the map has disappeared from the workspace because it's actually not in the physical game, it's just in the game's memory. So the next thing we need to add into server storage is another folder, and we're going to rename this to weapons. Yes, weapons, I know. So for the sake of keeping this tutorial short, I'm not going to go through the entire grounds of building entire weapons, so I'm going to take some Roblox gun models that I know are really good and work really well. I believe they're made by a guy named Quenty. Go follow him on Twitter or something. But yeah, so let's just come over to our toolbox and let's just get a gun. And if we look down, you'll see this little icon. That is the Roblox endorsed icon, I guess. That just means that there's no like bad models or anything in there like that. So let's just add in 1 and do no on the other 2. And for these 2 in the workspace, just delete them. Let's also get a pistol. I think there is a pistol pack. Yes, there is. Okay, and let's just insert 1 and no and no. And let's delete these 2 in the workspace. So now we take our 2 pistols. We have a pistol and an SMG. Let's change the SMG. Let's just call it machine gun. And let's just leave the pistol as pistol. And we're going to drag these 2. Into the weapons folder. So now we have our current 2 weapons. Again, I'll leave a link in the description to both of these models so you can get them nice and easily. And yeah, so once you've done that, make sure they're in the weapons folder. You won't see them in the workspace anywhere, hopefully, if you've done everything right. So now all we need to do is we need to come up to server script service. Yep, that's right, that's what we're doing. And we're going to rename it. Let's just call this script round server, because that's basically what it is. Okay, so before we begin scripting, there is one more folder we need to add into our replicated storage, okay. And we're going to rename the folder. We're just going to rename this main stats. So we're going to put all of our game statistics in here, and we're just going to add in a string value. And we're just going to call this, let's call this main status, I guess. Yep, that'll work. So now we can find our main status so we can see what the game is up to. Also, before I forget, just create a quick little lobby. You can build yours as you wish. I'm just going to build a little, just a little pad for the players to spawn on. Okay. Duplicate move. I'm not a builder, I know, I'm terrible. Please have forgiveness in me. And Yep, and I'm just going to make the floor, let's make it a pavement floor, and we'll make it that color. Yep, that'll work. Add in a quick folder, just rename this to lobby, and drag in all of the spawn locations and that one part, that little the pavement part. So now if I just quickly move the folder, we have our little lobby, and now we can get rid of our base plate. So let's do cut on the base plate. So now we should just have a void and our spawn locations. To our round folder, we need to define a few services first. Okay, so we're going to have to get the replicated storage, we're going to have to get the server storage, and probably the player service as well, so we can access different players and move them around and things like that. So first of all, we could just do local server storage is just going to be equal to game :get service, and we're going to do server storage. Okay, drop a line. Let's do local replicated storage equals game :get service, and we'll do replicated storage. Now we also need to get the players service so we can get the players. So let's do local players service equals game :get service, and we'll just do players. So now we have all of our required services for now. If we need to add some more later, we will. So there are a few more variables that we need to get, like the status, so we can change the game status, so we can tell the players where the game is currently at, who's still alive, what round is currently happening, and what map, and things like that. So let's do local main stat. We'll do status equals, where did we put it? Where did we define it? We'll do replicated storage dot main stats : wait for child main status. So now we have our main status value that we can now display to the players. So let's drop another line here, and let's define our weapons and our maps folder. So let's do local local maps folder equals server storage wait for child, and we'll do maps folder. Then we just go to rinse and repeat for the weapons folder. So let's do weapons folder equals server storage wait for child, and let's do weapons. So now we have most of our variables that we need for the game to start our main script. But yeah, right, so because this is a shooter round-based game, like wins that you get wins and coins from being like the MVP or just from being the winner. So let's make it so the game doesn't run unless there are at least 2 or more players in the game. So let's do repeat. Let's do repeat task.wait. And we'll just do 1. Do main status dot value equals waiting for more players until, and then we get the players service. We've already defined it as the players. That's the service up here. Let's do players service dot num players is greater than. Let's make another variable. Local min players is equal to 2, and we'll also make a reward so we know how much cash to give the player at the end of the script. So let's just do local main reward equals, let's just do 100 because everyone likes 100 cash for winning. And let's just do, and down here at the until player service is greater than, we just put our min players value. So now, if we click play, what should happen is if we see the value of our replicated storage, main stats, if we look in here, the status is, as you can see, waiting for more players. Right in there, you can see that it says waiting for more players. And just now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the GUI that displays the game status up the top there. Let's come back over down to Starter GUI, and I'm just going to add in a screen GUI, and I'm going to rename this to main display, and I'm also going to add in just a text label for now. Let's make this text label, let's make the anchor point 0.5. This is actually a bit important because we want people to be able to see it on all screens. So let's make that about 20, make that about 20 from the top. Let's resize it. Let's make it 500 by 50. Actually, no, let's make it 700 by 65. We have our main display label there, and it's about 20 from the top. Yep. And let's go fully transparent background, and down at the text we'll just put the text as placeholder text, and we can also take Source Sans Pro. Let's just make it Fredroka. Yeah, let's do text color is white. Let's make it text scale just so it's nice and easy, and we'll make the text stroke 0.5 so it's nice and easy for the player to see. Now we just need to add in a quick local script into here. So let's just add in a local script. We're going to rename it to update, so it updates our value. So let's go back here. All right, let's see this in our scripts. Let's take this replicated storage variable, and we're going to copy and paste it over. And we're also going to take the status, and we're going to copy and paste it over as well. So now we have that. So now we can do script.parent.text is equal to main status.value. And then all we need to do is we can do main status :get property changed signal. So this basically checks, it gets fired when something changes. So when the text changes, it's going to update what the players can see. So let's do and let's get value, and we'll just do :connect function. We don't need a parameter, and copy and paste this line and paste it back in. So now if we close off our script, let's click play. And what should happen, as you can see, it is now updated and it's saying that it's waiting for more players. And as you can see, if I come over to replicated storage and I open up the main status and I change the value, let's just make the value hello. As you can see, the value immediately changes, which is exactly what we're looking for. So let's click stop on that one. Here in our main script, I'm just going to go to line 20. That line 20 is about good. We're going to start with a while true do loop, because a while true do loop basically just means that this round is going to continue infinitely. So the round is never going to stop. Okay. So let's just do while true do. Alright, so now we should probably get the players into a folder, so we loop through the players so we can send them to the map. So let's do local players table equals, and that's just a blank table. So we just have that. And now we can do for, I think we'll just do I, comma, player in pairs. This is just looping through all the players. Let's do players service :get players, and we're going to do. We're just going to check if the player exists. We're going to if player, then we're going to do table dot insert, and I'm going to insert to the players table comma player. So now the player is inside of our table, and we can loop through that table to get all the players. So once this is done, let's update our main status value. Okay, so let's make it so it does a countdown. Okay, so let's make another variable. Let's do local lobby time, okay, is equal to, let's say, 10 seconds. I'm going to do local round time is equal to 30 seconds. So now we have our two variables for the round and lobby time. Let me just zoom out there a bit so you can see our code a bit clearer. And let's come down here after these two ends right here. And let's do, now we need to do a for loop where we count down by the value of -1 so that our main status can display the value of, let's say, round starting in and then the number of seconds remaining. Let's do for I again. Actually, no, let's do for T. T, it doesn't matter what letter you use as long as you remember what it is for. T is just going to stand for time. And let's do lobby time, comma 0, comma -1 do. So that is going to count down, that right there, this code is going to count down from the lobby time, okay, which is 10. So this value is equal to 10. It's a variable. So it's going to count down from whatever this is worth. And it's going to count down. And we're going to do main status dot value equals, let's do round starts in, and with a colon and a space. Make sure the space is here or it will look bunched up. Let's do concatenate, and we'll just bring the value of T, because T is equal to whatever this is equal to. Okay, so let's just concatenate in the value of T, and let's also do task dot wait, and we'll add in a 1. So now what should happen is, because I've still got this set for only one player, so it will run even when there's only one player. If we click play, as you can see, the round countdown has begun, and we are now ready to load in a random map and teleport our players back to the map. Obviously this is all we have so far because it's just looping through, because it's an infinite while true do loop, and now it is just infinitely counting down. Obviously we're going to be loading in maps and things like that, but yeah. So let's just click stop on that one. Because I know this video is getting pretty lengthy, I'm just going to do just one more thing. I'm going to choose a random map and we are going to load it into the game. Now we need to clone a new map. Let's get a random map. So let's do local, let's do maps equals, let's do maps folder colon get children, and we'll do local random map equals, it's equal to, let's do let's just do maps, and then we will do let's do math dot random, and we'll do 1 comma hashtag let's get what is it, maps. Alright, so now we can do map clone, okay, and map clone equals random map colon clone, and we're going to make its parent to the workspace. We're going to do map clone dot parent equals workspace, and now we're going to change the main status so we can tell the players what what map has been loaded into the game. So let's do main status dot value equals the map is colon with a space, and we will do dot dot, and let's do map clone dot name. Yeah, so now if we click play, as the timer ticks down, as you can see, the map has been loaded into the game. Next thing to do is to loop through the players and send them over to the map and give them a random weapon out of our folder, and then we can start measuring who is alive and who is dead in our round. Anyways guys, thank you guys so very much for watching part 1. As soon as part 2 is up, I'll have it linked right up in front on your screen now in the left corner. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so very much for watching. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed and if you found this helpful. But yeah, anyways, see you guys later.